Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a phenomenon that sits right at the very edge of human consciousness. I'm talking about intuition. Is it some hidden mystical ability, or is it something else entirely? Well, we are going to look at this not just as a mystical concept, but as an absolutely incredible function of the human mind. And we'll explore how both ancient astrological traditions and modern psychology attempt to decode the exact same experience.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever just known something with zero evidence? Maybe you felt a sudden, inexplicable pull toward a major life decision, or you got a really weird feeling about someone you just met. Your conscious mind is entirely out of the loop, but the feeling is undeniably real. You had absolutely no concrete evidence in front of you, yet somehow the feeling arrived long before your conscious mind could ever even explain why. It's an incredibly common yet profoundly mysterious thing we all go through.
To get us all on the same page, what exactly do we mean by intuition? At its core, intuition is simply that quiet, inner feeling. It's a sudden knowing that completely bypasses our usual step-by-step logic. It's not a loud, demanding thought. It's a quiet, instant understanding. It's that split-second leap your mind takes, effortlessly jumping right past the analytical processes we rely on every single day to deliver a conclusion that just feels deeply rooted and true. Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap for today. We'll start with the mystery of intuition, then explore astrology, karma, and stars. After that, we'll look at the psychology of sudden knowing, see how these two perspectives point to one truth, and finally, discuss how to actually cultivate your inner voice.
All right, let's jump right into part one, the mystery of intuition, why it's so much more than just a feeling.
First things first, intuition is absolutely not some rare superpower reserved for a select few. The reality is, your mind is basically a giant sponge. It is constantly absorbing millions of subtle data points every single second, way below your conscious radar. Intuition is really just a natural sensitivity to this vast ocean of unseen data. From an ancient astrological perspective, it's considered a perfectly natural ability that exists within all of human consciousness. Some people just happen to be a bit more sensitive to these impressions, whether that's because of their emotional nature, their spiritual development, or the deep-rooted influences mapped out in their birth chart.
Which brings us nicely to part two, astrology, karma, and stars, the ancient map of consciousness.
Now, what's really fascinating here is how Vedic astrology uses planetary symbols to describe our tendencies to process hidden information. Take the moon, for instance. It represents our emotional perception and subconscious memories, so a sensitive moon often indicates a really strong emotional awareness. Then you have Jupiter, which connects to our wisdom, higher understanding, and spiritual insight. And Ketu, well, that signifies experiences that completely defy ordinary logic and come from a place of deep detachment. These aren't fixed, rigid abilities, but rather symbolic ways to understand how we navigate the unseen world around us.
Astrologers also dive deep into the birth chart to map a person's intuitive potential and their connection to unseen dimensions. They look very closely at specific areas, known as houses. The 8th house, for example, is heavily associated with hidden knowledge, transformation, and deeper perception. The 9th house represents higher wisdom and that lifelong search for meaning. And the 12th house relates directly to the subconscious and unseen dimensions. So, if you've ever had a wildly vivid prophetic dream, an astrologer might look straight to your 12th house to figure out exactly why.
But wait, there's another super interesting layer to this. Karma. Vedic philosophy views your consciousness as carrying deep, ancient impressions from past experiences. This heavily influences your current instincts, your reactions, and your deepest unconscious understanding. This perfectly explains why you might feel an intense gravitational pull toward a total stranger, or suddenly feel drawn to a completely new life path without any logical reason. These moments arise from deeper layers of awareness. The knowledge isn't coming from the outside, it's literally rising up from within you.
Moving on to part 3, the psychology of sudden knowing. Let's look at the actual science of the subconscious.
Modern psychology looks at this exact same phenomenon, but through a biological lens. Think of your brain as the ultimate supercomputer. It is constantly running complex algorithms based on your past experiences, emotional signals, and tiny, seemingly insignificant daily observations. It synthesizes all this data in milliseconds, basically handing you a sudden knowing before your logical brain even has time to boot up. In this sense, intuition isn't mystical at all. It's just a highly developed, lightning-fast form of unconscious processing and pattern recognition that's designed to keep us safe and guide our choices.
This perfectly sets up part 4. 2 perspectives, 1 truth. Using different vocabularies for the exact same mind.
This brilliantly illustrates how both fields are actually in perfect agreement that human perception goes far, far deeper than ordinary logical thinking. Astrology uses planetary symbols and houses to describe our inner processes, while psychology uses brain function and behavior to study those hidden layers. But ultimately, they're describing the exact same iceberg. The conscious mind is really just the tip. Beneath the surface lies a vast ocean of memories, emotions, instincts, and impressions. We're simply looking at two different vocabularies mapping the very same human mind.
And finally, part 5, cultivating your inner voice. Let's talk about how you can actually tune in.
So how do we practically apply this? Well, intuition is basically a muscle. To strengthen it, you have to create space. Practicing silence, embracing meditation, prioritizing reflection, and utilizing mindfulness, these aren't just trendy buzzwords. They are the absolutely crucial tools required to actually hear the subtle signals your brain and spirit are picking up. These practices help you notice feelings you'd normally just ignore while rushing through your busy day. The crucial point here is that a calm mind catches the pattern clearly, while a constantly distracted mind will completely miss the signal.
But a really important warning here. Not every sudden feeling is true intuition. Fear and personal bias are incredibly good at masquerading as inner guidance. Our own personal desires and anxieties can easily hijack our deeper awareness. The litmus test is actually quite simple. True, genuine intuition is calm, clear, and steady. Fear, on the other hand, almost always brings frantic urgency and confusion. Learning to distinguish between that calm clarity and frantic fear is a vital part of your personal development.
Whether you view it through the mystical lens of a birth chart or the biological lens of rapid neurological pattern recognition, one thing is for sure: our minds hold beautiful, unexplored dimensions just waiting to be heard. Intuition is a subtle awareness that unfolds through experience and quiet inner understanding. Remember, sometimes the quietest inner voice reveals truths that the loudest thoughts simply cannot find. So, I'll leave you with this. What quiet truth is your inner voice trying to reveal to you right now, just waiting for you to listen? Keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next explainer.